Next up, Yuval Sharon to close the market doors.
Hi, good afternoon. I am really pleased to be speaking to everyone here, and Terrence, thank you so much for the invitation. Aaron's great speech, and I'm quite horrified to be following you. That is nowhere near as provocative, so at least I got that. The provocative side is then taken care of for the afternoon. But I am coming from a minority position. I'm coming from the position of opera, which does sometimes feel like a crazy minority.
Especially opera.
Well, you're right, exactly. And you might be wondering, what is an opera director doing here, speaking to you about theater and theater in LA? I think a lot of us think opera doesn't have anything to do with theater. I tend to think that opera is theater plus, not necessarily theater minus, as most people think of it. I think of opera as the greatest theater imaginable, and I think that, I told you, I'm in the minority there. But I moved to LA because of my passion for opera, because I believed that LA was the right home for new opera. And new opera, I know that already sounds like a contradiction in terms, but that's the kind of stuff that I really believed in, and I started a company here called The Industry. I moved to LA to start this company because I believed that LA had the most adventurous, open-minded, and excited audience in the country. After spending 7 years in New York, it was a breath of fresh air to come to LA, to meet the people and the artists that are creating work here, and to then dedicate a company to the artists that are working here, the singers, the writers, all of that kind of stuff that's happening here that needed a home. It doesn't just need a home in LA, it needed a home nationally. And actually, when I moved here from New York, what I was mostly told was, what are you going to do in LA? LA is a cultural wasteland that is still, in many ways, the stereotype. LA is a place in which culture doesn't happen, in which the entertainment industry is thriving. But the cultural industry is in the shadow of that entertainment industry. Part of me already finds that complicated because culture is supposed to be entertainment as well, so I've never quite understood that. But it is something that I said I believe in the people that are here, and I believe in the possibilities here. We started with production. Oh, that was a cool transition. Wasn't planned. We started with a production called Crescent City. It opened last May at Atwater Crossing. It was a highly interdisciplinary production. It was one in which 6 visual artists, video artists, actors, and classically trained performers got together to create a large-scale production, and that's how we started. The next production is going to be opening in October. It's going to be in Union Station. It's a new piece called Invisible Cities. It's with the singers and dancers moving through the space of Union Station and hearing it via headphones. That's our composer right there, listening to the piece via wireless headphones. Obviously, the civic value of what this project has is, I think, inherent in its site-specific quality. And it's one of the things that I love about LA is I didn't feel, after coming from New York, I didn't feel like I had to be in a 99-seat theater. I didn't feel like I had to be trapped in the traditional proscenium arc, but I felt like there was space and there was room for all of this kind of experimentation. And I think that, real quick, it's also a great place for the new. I find that LA people, our audiences and artists, love the new, and I found that very exciting after spending time in New York. We're doing a workshop on June 1st of brand new operas and works in progress that are free and open to the public, and I hope you guys will join us for that. But I mention all this because when I was asked by Terrence what would I like to see LA theater representing, I wanted to say, first of all, let's stop apologizing for LA's cultural life. That is not just about people outside of LA, but it's us too. It's all of us saying that our work matters, even though we're not on the East Coast, or in Chicago, or Minnesota, or other major hubs of where theater's happening. I think the first step is not just what external ideas are, but internally saying that this work, the work that we can all do together, is actually the most innovative, has the potential to be the most exciting, and the most experimental of any other city in the country. And why is that? I think that's inherent in what LA has historically, and in terms of the diversity of population. Because diversity has been such a hot topic, this afternoon. I just want to say that in Crescent City, of the 14 performers of Crescent City, only 4 of them would have checked the Caucasian box, and that was not an intentional choice, but it's a belief that all of us that created that piece had, that our performances must reflect the community that we're speaking in, and opera is not withheld from that requirement. So what is the way that we can do that? I think there's a lot of ways that we can think about how to get LA to be the cultural capital that we all believe it is. And I think the #1 way to do that is to really strive to be creating ambitious and highly innovative and experimental work. I would love to go to the theater and see more experimentation. When I go to the theater, I feel like I see a lot of older models that are slightly maybe pushing the envelope. I would love to see all of you here, and again, forgive me for those of you that are doing the work that is really changing the face of LA, but I would love it if all of us were doing that. Wouldn't it be great if every company was exploring theater from a brand new point of view, from the people that are creating it, from the world that is receiving it, that is this audience? I love what Thor said about the user experience and the idea of that user being the most powerful. It's true that as theater artists, our audiences are really where the power lies, and we always have to think about that communication, not just of what we're doing in isolation, but how that reaches across either the proscenium or the larger stage. And again, the way to do that, the thinking about the work that we do, not just ghettoized in small theaters, but actually saying it matters with not being afraid of fundraising and not being afraid of marketing. I've also had this, have gone to theater school, being told that to market yourself is somehow cheapening your own work. Well, actually, not just in LA, but internationally, marketing yourself and saying that my work matters is how you get people to notice. And that's something that's been a big part of what the industry has been about. And I think if every company approached their work with that sense of my work really, really matters and needs to be on CNN, needs to be on 60 Minutes, needs to be in the New York Times, I think that's how we're going to change that viewpoint. In terms of pieces, repertoire, etc., I just want to close by saying one thing. There's kind of 2 ways of thinking about how to choose the work that you want to dedicate your life to. You can say, I want to give the audience what it wants. Or you can say, I want to give the audience what it can't possibly imagine. I'm of the latter way of thinking, and I think that LA's theater should all be in that direction. Thanks.